Welcome back to our channel, wonderful viewers. Today is a beautiful, bright day, and we are absolutely thrilled to sit down with you once again to discuss the ever-evolving, always captivating world of Port Charles. As a longtime viewer and a dedicated critic of General Hospital, I have to say that the recent developments surrounding Jason Morgan's highly anticipated return to Port Charles have completely captivated my attention. Steve Burton stepping back into the iconic leather jacket is always a monumental event for the show, but this time, the writers are giving us something profoundly different. We are not just getting the stoic, unwavering enforcer we have known for decades. Instead, we are being presented with a Jason Morgan who is returning with a completely new perspective on life, a shift that I believe is both necessary and incredibly refreshing for a character with such a rich, complex history. For those of us who have watched Jason evolve from the bright-eyed Quartermain golden boy into the dark, brooding mob enforcer and now into this mature, reflective man, this current storyline feels like a massive culmination of his entire journey. It is a testament to the show's ability to let its legacy characters grow, and I am entirely here for this new chapter. To truly understand the gravity of Jason's new mindset, we have to look back at the harrowing circumstances of his departure. As we all intimately remember, Jason and Britt Westbourne, played with such fiery brilliance by Kelly Thibault, were forced to tearfully separate when Jason made the ultimate sacrifice. He took the fall for young Rocco Falconeri regarding the shocking shooting of Ross Cullum. Now, I must pause here and offer my own critique on this specific plot point. Was it noble of Jason to sacrifice his own freedom to protect a child? Absolutely. It aligns perfectly with his deeply ingrained protective instincts. However, as a critic, I found it incredibly frustrating to watch him throw his life away yet again for the sake of others, completely disregarding the life he was building for himself. The scenes where the WSB agents came to take him away were gut-wrenching, primarily because they were preceded by those incredibly heartfelt, raw confessions between him and Britt. You could feel the palpable chemistry and the tragic sense of a future being stolen from them just as it was beginning to blossom. Before he was taken into WSB custody, Jason made one very specific, very earnest request of Britt. He begged her to be completely honest with him about everything she was facing. As someone who values loyalty and truth above all else, Jason needed to know he was leaving her with a clean slate. Britt did step up to a certain extent. She finally confessed her involvement with Ross Cullum, the menacing Jen Sidwell, and the mysterious project she had been entangled in. While I appreciated Britt finally shedding some light on her dark dealings, my experience watching this show immediately set off alarm bells. In the world of soap operas, a partial confession is often more dangerous than a complete lie. And, true to form, Britt was holding back a secret of catastrophic proportions, a secret that threatens to permanently sever whatever bond she and Jason managed to forge. The revelation that Britt completely concealed the true identity of Nathan West is, in my opinion, one of the most explosive and damaging betrayals we have seen in recent years. To discover that the man parading around as Nathan West is actually Cassius Faison, Jason's own twin brother, is a twist that shakes the very foundation of Port Charles. Ryan Pivey's return to the screen, not as the beloved detective, but as the sinister Cassius, is a masterstroke of casting and storytelling. However, Britt's complicity in this deception is utterly unforgivable in the context of her relationship with Jason. Why would she keep such a monumental truth from the man she claims to love? Was she trying to protect herself? Was she intimidated by Cassius? While one could argue she was acting out of fear, I firmly believe that her silence was a profound betrayal of Jason's trust. Cassius has been actively deceiving the people closest to Jason, manipulating his inner circle, and operating with a malicious agenda that carries the dark, toxic legacy of the Faison name. This brings us to the terrifying escalation of Cassius's reign of terror, the kidnapping of Jocelyn Jacks. Holding a young woman hostage at the gloomy, isolated Windermere estate is a classic, chilling soap opera trope, but it carries a deeply personal weight for Jason. Jocelyn is Carly's daughter, a young woman Jason has sworn to protect time and time again. The fact that Cassius orchestrated this and that Britt's lack of transparency allowed Cassius to operate in the shadows for so long creates a massive, insurmountable wall between Jason and Britt. When Jason returns to Port Charles and inevitably discovers everything he has missed, the deception, the danger, the terror inflicted on his extended family, how could he possibly react with anything other than fury? I ask you, how can a man whose entire moral code is built on protecting his loved ones ever look past the fact that his romantic partner aided, even through silence, a monster who targeted those very people? The answer, in my view, is a resounding no. Jason will absolutely lay a significant portion of the blame squarely on Britt's shoulders, and frankly, I cannot disagree with him. Her secrets created the blind spot that allowed Cassius to strike. But the most compelling and emotionally resonant part of Jason's return is not his inevitable confrontation with Britt or his battle against his twin brother. It is his profound realization regarding his son, Danny Morgan. Asher Antonin has been doing a wonderful job portraying a young boy caught in the crossfire of his parents' chaotic lives. While sitting in a WSB holding cell, stripped of his freedom and isolated from the world, Jason has clearly had time to reflect on the collateral damage of his choices. His relentless efforts to help Britt, his willingness to dive headfirst into danger, and his ultimate decision to go to prison to protect Rocco all came at a devastating cost to Danny. Jason has suddenly awakened to the harsh reality that his heroism for others has resulted in the abandonment of his own child. This is a powerful, deeply moving shift in narrative. For years, we have watched Jason prioritize the mob, Sonny, Carly, and various romantic partners over the day-to-day responsibilities of fatherhood. To see him finally recognize the toll his absence has taken on Danny is incredibly satisfying for longtime viewers who have always wished for Jason to step up as a present, reliable father. As the only remaining father figure in Danny's life, Jason is actively recalibrating his entire existence. He is returning to Port Charles not as a mob enforcer looking for his next assignment, but as a father desperate to make amends and provide a stable, secure life for his son. Danny needs a father he can depend on, someone who won't disappear into the night or be hauled off to federal prison because of misguided loyalties. Jason's determination to assume that role wholeheartedly is the most admirable character development he has undergone in a decade. I strongly support this new direction. It shows a maturity and a depth of character that proves Jason is capable of evolving beyond his violent past. Because of this profound shift in priorities, it seems almost inevitable that Jason will make the difficult but necessary decision to permanently distance himself from the criminal underworld. Furthermore, this new focus on stability means he must cut ties with Britt Westbourne. Britt, for all her redeeming qualities and undeniable charm, is a walking magnet for trouble. Her life is a constant whirlwind of secrets, danger, and chaotic entanglements. Jason simply cannot provide a safe, nurturing environment for Danny while simultaneously navigating the treacherous waters of Britt's complicated life. Ending his relationship with Britt is not just a reaction to her betrayal regarding Cassius, it is a calculated, necessary step to ensure his son's well-being. As much as fans of the Brayson pairing might mourn the end of their romance, I believe it is the most logical and emotionally authentic choice for Jason to make at this juncture in his life. Of course, in the grand, sweeping narrative of General Hospital, we know that doors are rarely closed forever. There is always a lingering possibility, a small glimmer of hope that Britt and Jason might eventually find their way back to one another. If Britt can truly face her demons, take accountability for her devastating secrets, and untangle herself from the dark web of Jen Sidwell and the Faison legacy, perhaps they could rebuild their trust. But that is a journey that would take years of storytelling to earn. Right now, in the immediate aftermath of his return, Jason's path is crystal clear. He is putting romance on the back burner. He is stepping away from the shadows. He is walking into the light for the sake of his son. This storyline is proving to be one of the most complex and engaging arcs we have seen in quite some time. The juxtaposition of Jason trying to build a peaceful life while the chaotic storm of Cassius Faison and Britt's secrets rages around him creates a brilliant dramatic tension. It forces us, as viewers, to ask difficult questions about redemption, the limits of forgiveness, and the sacrifices required of a parent. I am thoroughly enjoying watching this new, grounded version of Jason Morgan navigate these treacherous waters. It honors the history of the character while pushing him into uncharted, highly emotional territory. It is exactly the kind of rich, character-driven storytelling that has kept us all tuning into General Hospital for so many years. I cannot wait to see how Steve Burton plays these upcoming scenes, particularly the quiet, poignant moments with Danny and the inevitably explosive confrontations with Britt and Cassius. It is a fantastic time to be a fan of the show, and I look forward to continuing to analyze every thrilling moment with all of you.